All right.
Who wants to read? I'll read. I don't care.
I I
I gotta
mean
be able to see.
Actually,
I mean I
I'm listening.
I think Natalie wants to read just because she hasn't.
do y'all want me to read the
Okay.
Russell Baker that little bit or just the plot against people before
I mean, if you
because
want
they're
to, I don't know if we need to know that opening stuff, but if anything,
okay
just read the
The plot.
against people. Okay.
yeah, just read that part.
Yeah.
Inanimate objects are classified into three major categories: those that don't work, those that break down, and those that get lost. The goal of all inanimate objects is to resist man and ultimately to defeat him. And and the three major classifications are based on the method each object uses to achieve its purpose. As a general rule, any object capable of breaking down at the moment when it's most needed will do so. The automobile is typically all of the category. With the cunning typical of its breed, the automobile never breaks down while entering a filling station with a large staff of idle mechanics. It waits until it reaches a downtown intersection in the middle of the rush hour or until it's fully loaded with family and luggage on the Ohio Turnpike. Thus, it creates a maximum misery, inconvenience, frustration, and irritability among its human cargo, thereby reducing its owner's lifespan. Washing machines, garbage disposals, lawn mowers, light bulbs, automatic laundry dryers, water pipes, furnaces, electrical fuses, television tubes, hose nozzles, tape recorders, slide projections. All are all are in a league of the automobile to take their turn at breaking down whenever life threatens to flow smoothly for their human enemies. Many inanimate objects, of course, find it difficult to break down. Pliers, for example, and gloves and keys are totally incapable of breaking down. Therefore, they had to involve a different technique for resisting man. They get lost. Science has still not solved the mystery of how they do it, and no man has ever caught one of them in the act of getting lost. The most plausible theory is that they developed a secret method of locomotion, which they are able to conceal the instant of a human eye falling upon them. It is not uncommon for a pair of pliers to climb all the way from the cellar to the attic in its single-minded determination to raise its owner's blood pressure. Keys have been known to bury the feet into mattresses. Women's purses, despite their great weight, frequently travel through 6 or 7 rooms to find hiding space underneath a couch. Scientists have been struck by the fact that things that break down virtually never get lost, while things that get lost hardly ever break down. A furnace, for example, will never invariably break down at the death of its first winter cold wave, but it will never get lost. A woman's purse, which after all does have some inherent capacity for breaking down, hardly ever does. It almost invariably chooses to get lost. Some peoples believe that, guys, I can't pronounce that word, constitutionalizes evidence that
Institutes.
objects are not entirely hostile to man, and that a negated peace is possible. After all, they point out, a furnace could infuriate a man even more thoroughly by getting lost than breaking down, just as a glove could upset him far more by breaking down than by getting lost. Not everyone agrees, however, that this indicates a
Conciliatory.
conciliatory attitude among inanimate objects. Many say it merely proves that furnaces, gloves, and pliers are incredibly stupid. The third class of objects, those that don't work, is the most curious of all. These include objects such as barometers, car clocks, cigarette lighters, flashlights, and toy train locomotives. It is inaccurate, of course, to say that they never work. They work once, usually for the first few hours after being brought home, and then they quit. Thereafter, they never work again. In fact, it is widely assumed that they are built for the purpose of not working. Many people have reached advanced ages without ever seeing one of these objects, barometers, for example, in working order. Science is utterly baffled by the entire category. There are many theories about it. The most interesting holds that there are things that don't work have attained the highest state of possible for an animate object. the state to which things that break down and things that get lost can still only aspire. They have truly defeated man by conditioning him to never expect anything of them, and in return, they have given man the only peace he receives from inanimate society. He does not expect his barometer to work, his electric locomotive to run, his cigarette lighter to light, or his flashlight to illuminate. And that it does not raise his blood pressure. He cannot obtain the peace with furnaces and keys and cars and women's purses as long as he demands that they work for their keep. Sorry for my morning voice. I didn't do my warm-ups. My bad, guys.
It's
That's
good.
okay. That's okay.
It's definitely morning. I'm with you on that. I really loved this piece. Like honestly.
It was good. It was good and it was real.
I
Like when
agree
they
with
said
it.
the
Oh yeah.
intimate objects are classified into three major groups. They're so true. You
Oh
got your
yeah.
lighters that don't never work. You got your pocketbook that you know you put here, but it's wound up way over there somewhere. Yeah.
I know, I found myself snapping a lot at this story. Just like, yep, like been there.
Or
Like
like when your car, for instance, you never break down in the right place. You
exactly.
always wait some nobody's around, nobody's answering the phone. Yeah.
Uh for real. Oh man, I remember I had I think four tires blow up on me in in 2 months. I was so upset. And at 2 points we're at the exact same spot on like opposite sides of the same interstate. I was like, wait, I just blew my tire
No,
last week right there.
my friend's tires blew up on the interstate, and that was so bad. Like we were stuck at that for hours one time. I was like,
That is the worst.
I think anything like happening on the interstate is bad, period. But like
Yeah. Oh, I almost got into several accidents the other day during that storm. That was yesterday, I think.
the weather is horrible, guys. Like I've gotten rained on. Like I was no, I was at a writing. I was in a meeting with CCRS, and then I came out. I was like, oh, it's not gonna rain until after I get out. Nope, it starts raining as I'm walking out. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh no, I would be mad.
So I think that we're all supposed to read like a certain part of these and then think out loud. We're supposed to do the discussion out loud, what we think it is.
I think it says everyone
In
gets like 2 to 3, no, 3 to 4 minutes
three
to
minutes.
go over their
Yeah,
first, and we'll be
right.
back with it. So,
Mhm.
Lisa, if you want to start, you're welcome to.
Why? Playing. I'm just playing. Okay, well, I'm gonna start at the part where it says intimate objects are classified into three major categories: those that don't work, those that break down, and those that get lost. Um, which as far as intimate objects, that is something that is like lifeless. It doesn't have any life to it. It's actual object. Um, and I believe the category, he's basing them all in categories. Everybody knows what a category, well, not everybody, but it's classification thing, classifying things. Um, then he goes on to say, with the cunning typical of its breed, the automobile never breaks down while entering a filling station with a large staff of idle mechanics. It waits until it breaks and reaches a downtown intersection in the middle of rush hour or until it's fully loaded with family members and luggage on the Ohio Turnpike. Like, for instance, Mr. Sean, two times on the separate sides of the interstate,
Yeah.
so basically I think, that's what it's saying. We're never in the right place at the right time for it to happen. Thus, it creates a maximum misery, inconvenience, and frustrating irritability among humans. That's being very upset, very mad, very disappointed, wishing you'd have bought the cheaper car or the more expensive car.
Damn.
Washing machines. Oh Jesus, my washing machine right now. She's got a mind her own. One day she spins it, the next day she doesn't.
Mm.
Um, are all in the league in the automobile to take their turn at breaking down whenever life threatens. Threatening is, as they say, violent but non-touching violence. To flow smoothly for the human enemies. Uh, they get lost, as say per se. They have feet, hands of their own. They just walk away. We don't know how they're doing that. Scientists have still not solved the mystery of how they do it, and no man has ever caught one of them in the act of getting lost. I can't wait to see mine walking down the hallway. But think basically that's what we all pretty much understand what it's meaning. Walking away, getting lost, Natalie put her ear pods over here, and all of a sudden they walked over there, but nobody was in the house. So, we don't remember. We don't remember. If you want to go, Sean.
Yeah, yeah. I uh I like this from like my perspective on all this is very much sort of like it's like animating inanimate objects. It's like they've kind of like come to life for me in this, and it's really and it's funny. It's almost
Mm,
like it's like the author is almost it's like he's like talking about them like people, and it's really
right. He is. He
it's
is.
it's what I love about
He
a good
is.
satire piece is just like the irony with everything. Like I live for irony. Like I love for like people going off about something that is really contradicting itself the whole time. And I find stuff like that funny. I'm also a big fan of puns, and I will say there wasn't enough pun use in this for me, but maybe it's the like
You can tell the author enjoyed making this.
absolutely.
Yes.
Like when I write
Yes.
stuff, like
Yes.
this is the kind of stuff I would like to write. Like I like to take things like and just kind of like flip the script on it. It's like I kind of want to do that even with like these essays that we get. It's like we get a topic or something and I see some examples and I'm like, okay, I know what we're supposed to be writing, but how can I like make it my own and really like come out of like friggin' nowhere and like be like, okay, I did not expect that to come from this, but it does technically meet the assignment. So A, I guess. So it's things like that that I really appreciate about writers like this and authors like that. If anything, I'm kind of excited to go see what more he has.
Yeah. Because Russell Baker, uh, with R.L. Shepard, he was saying that, in other words, Russell Baker was using his last of his insanity, last of his mental capacity to preserve into writing.
Yeah,
And, that's what he was pretty much doing. Mental, he was using his writing to preserve his mental status.
yeah.
That's what he was doing.
And I get that. And see, and I think that's why I relate so much because I just I'm definitely I'm definitely sensitive to like a lot of like bad energies, good energies, all that stuff. So it's like if you're not delivering, like it's messing with me. And I find my comfort in humor, like dark
And you're
situations and
right,
things like that. I
right?
find a way to
Yes.
laugh at it or make light of it, like even if it's like tasteless. I've gotten in trouble for that before where like yeah, yeah. Like I mean a good example, like I know that like I remember like me, my dad, and like two of my cousins were at my godfather's funeral and we were all they knew I was taking it harder than anybody. So then while we were there, like we're sitting there at his funeral in the back with everyone and we're all like talking mad shit about him like the whole time, just like,
Right.
oh man, he like did this, blah blah blah. We were like joking about and we were all laughing about it, but we realized that like this is my godfather. This is one that like we were pretty close to. So when we knew that if it was our funerals, he'd be doing the same to us. So
Right. It was a
doing
good
it
thing. She's remembering the
it
good
was.
times.
Like
You
anybody
know.
from outside looking at it would be like, why are you talking shit about the deceased? But it's like he would do the same
That's
to us. We doing
that's how
this out
you
of love.
remember them. That's how you remember them. You make
Right.
fun of them.
Exactly. It came from a place of
Right.
love. It's a place of humor. We're making jokes, and if anything, like if he was sitting there watching, he'd be like cracking laughs with us too, because he's like, yeah, y'all get me. So it's things like that.
Yep.
And I feel like this guy, like even particularly to kind of like bring it back to it. Like I think he does reach out to people that can take the humor in things and things that he takes the things that frustrate us, and he
And
uh
make it funny, huh?
he makes it funny. He makes it into something like I've got it all figured out, guys. And I'm like, yeah, like that's my kind of piece right there.
Yeah, when Professor McCarthy was reading the outline the other day on how to do this, and she sent the YouTube video about what was it, the reading we have to do, the mind. And she, in other words, she gave the example of how to do what we're supposed to be doing now. And I was thinking, this guy really had to be crazy to try to jump into a hydraulic water thing and get chopped up. That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, where does she get these stories from?
Yes.
I don't, I think that I was just, whoa. It woke me. It woke me for a moment. I was like, this is impossible. Now you know he's gonna die. I mean, if you sum up the whole story, that's one of our things we're reading now. If y'all don't
Okay.
know what
I
I'm
don't think I've
talking
gotten
about.
to that one yet. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
what's happening?
And yeah, it's deadly mind traps that she was sharing with
Oh,
us. It's one of our stories that we're about to read. And the guy jumps into some kind of hydraulic thing in the water. And
interesting.
his friends, two friends before him did it and got grinded up. So here he goes, and now he's about to do it. And I'm like, really? Where's she getting these kind of stories from? Why would he jump into a
I was like, what
grinder?
kind of story,
And why
honestly?
would you follow him? Follow, you see, both of them got killed. Why would you do it?
I don't know. I'm
Isn't
a
that
Okay,
horror
this? Isn't
junkie.
y'all can
it's
enjoy it. I know it's
isn't
going to
that
be
the
enjoyable.
saying like when your parents are like, oh, if your parents are gonna, if your friends are gonna jump over, like
Off the bridge.
off the bridge, are you gonna go with them? It's that type of saying.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fun.
good.
I don't know, like maybe.
I know, right? It's like, well, now I might, since you want to say
Yeah.
something. That's me. I'm rebellious.
Wow.
But Natalie, what
Really?
did you think about the
Um, when I did annotate this morning, because I was like, okay, I can't go into this Zoom not knowing like what this is. There's the part where it talks about like the objects that don't work. It's like the car clocks, the cigarette lighters, the flashlights, and the toy train. Um, hold up, guys. What is popping up on my screen? Something else. I don't really care about that. My grandpa used to have like, well, this is like when we had his old car. I don't know what version of this car. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's like an old convertible. He used to have a cigarette lighter and he would just play with it like all the time. Because he was like, I'm gonna get this to work. Because like when he first bought the car, he was like, it was perfect. Like it worked. Like it was great and everything. And I was like, why do you want to make it work? You don't even smoke or anything. And he's like, it's just for the aesthetic. Like it's just I was like, what is the point in all of that? But I guess like, it goes back to this, like for the article and everything. It's like they only work once. They never work again. And I don't know. I think I I I put that in my annotation. I was like, oh, my grandpa used to have one of these. But like I don't know why he was like pen up about like, oh, I need to make this cigarette lighter work. No, you don't. You don't even smoke. But that was but that was like one of the things. Like that was like the one thing I took away from it. Even though like I think like my point misses the point of the article. I don't know. That was the one thing I related to. I was like, oh, this is the one thing I
It brought
understand.
you back.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
brought you back. Yeah,
it made me
they
think of my
do that.
grandpa's old
He
truck too, and I used to just like playing with it. I was just like, and then I'd like pull it out, and I'm like, it's all like lit up and cool, and I just put it back.
Oh my goodness. It's cherry red too. I remember 'em. I don't even think they make cigarette lighters in cars no more.
Yeah, I don't see them
I, I haven't
anymore.
I haven't seen them in there either.
it
I
was
don't think
like
they
it was
make
like
that anymore.
it wasn't like teal blue. It was like I don't want to say like baby blue or anything, but like those old-fashioned blues they used to put on cars. It's that. Whatever
Mhm.
whatever you think of, it's that one.
I know exactly which one you're talking about too. I've seen it in a few movies.
hmm He never got to get it. He never like fixed it. He never figured it out. It,
Really?
it's fine. Yeah, he never figured it out. He was just like,
Does he still have it? Does he still have the car?
no, when he passed away like a couple years ago.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry.
oh no, it's okay. You're good. You're good. Man has been he's like those like turtles that you keep in like one of your backyards that like are gonna like they live like for like decades and everything. He was like that. Like
Mm.
he was like that. He was like Ben like man was a fighter. He was fighting to stay. And I was like, you could
Wow.
just rest. You don't need to do all this.
Yeah.
So no, we sold the car. We were like because it was just sitting in our garage and like you couldn't even drive it. Like if he took because he would just sit in the garage and just take stuff out of it and just play with it. Like it was
That was his project, huh?
yes, he was having fun and we were like, oh, we're not gonna get rid of the car until after he passes, and we did. So
Dang.
Okay.
That's really funny.
it's a sweet memory. I think it's nice, you know.
I like that. Okay, so I
Yeah,
think we
that
have about
is.
7 minutes until the time ends. Does everyone want to go over the essay?
I have not picked my essay topic yet, but I will. I will, Miss McCarthy. I will.
I
This
know,
is
I know I've been like really racking my brain. I feel like I know where I want to
Hey,
go with it, but I definitely I'd love to like bounce ideas with y'all also.
I kind of picked, I don't know. I can't say I picked. I have three different ones to pick from.
oh, okay.
I kind of just have one
And I
big one
just
and
hope
I'm
she
really hoping
approves
it
them.
works out.
I, I have three different ones, but then I kind of think, wow, I don't know. Maybe somebody wrote that, then, you just want to be a little different. But I do.
That's
I
what I'm
have
trying to do. It's hard.
one of them is spenders, like people that spend money, people that don't spend money, and
Mhm.
people, people tight and all that, and people that's not so tight. And then we got our savers. I have that, and then I have what was the other bosses? I had I used to be a business owner. And then but prior to that, I had a boss that was just like, I don't know, he was more like corporal, corporal military.
That's
And
exactly
then
what
I
you
had
said.
one boss that was just so laid back. That was just so wonderful, as long as the job got done. I have those two and kind of grocery shopping. I don't know,
I hear
I
that.
have them three to choose from.
I really
But
like
I
the
don't know, I
bosses
haven't made my
one.
mind. Huh?
That I really
Uh,
like the bosses one because I feel like that's a very like resonant topic for everyone. Like, I mean, when you said that, I
yeah.
was like, I would love to read what you come up with that because
We
that's
got
something. Because
our
I mean, I was a
micromanagers and all that.
I
We
mean, I
got
used
some.
to manage convenience stores for like almost a decade, and like
Okay,
I was very much one of those like I wasn't super laid back. I tried to find a good balance. I like to get the respect of my employees, like I was like I knew I was their boss, so I wasn't trying to be all like just best friends with everyone. Like I just want everyone to be cool. Like I mean, I did, but I
right.
was just like, yeah, but I'm also accountable for what y'all do or don't do, so just keep that in mind. Like
Yeah, I
and I was
was
one of those people, I would never do anything, like I would never make anyone do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself, if that makes any sense. You know what I
right.
mean?
I
Like,
was a boss and a manager. I'm the same
mm,
thing like I told you, Sean. I was a bartender for well over 30 something years.
yeah,
And I've had a boss. I was the boss, and then I was the manager for a long time. And I don't know, I never had one boss like this particular boss. And I think that's what kind of got me to want to really write about it.
I
And
honestly think it's a great idea.
that maybe even, drinkers. They have three different types of drinkers.
Yeah, that's true.
If you deal with the public, as long as I have, you know, when that person walks through the lounge or wherever you're at, what type of drinker they are.
That
By
would be
just looking
fun
at them,
too.
you can do
Like,
that.
I would write that essay in the perspective of you as a bartender, and you sort of like witness different types of
Oh, did I?
drinkers come in. That would be a fabulous story. I think that would be a
Yeah,
good one too.
I think I might do that one. I don't know. I got to get her to okay it first. So
I don't see
I
why
don't
she
know.
wouldn't. Like, I feel like that's an exceptionally
Yeah.
creative piece. Like, it's
Yeah,
informative, but it's like an actual story. I think that'd be
yeah,
amazing.
I have plenty years under my belt with it. Plenty
Right.
years.
No, I'm
So many
thinking.
years I don't want to ever do it again.
And it's funny, I spent years
I don't even
fighting to
drink.
get a
And that's
bartending
the
job
funny
and I
thing.
never
I
did.
never drank. I was never a drinker. Never a
Wow.
drinker. I didn't drink. But so I was more aware to what was going on. So that's how I could just like go say if I'm out with a group of girlfriends. Every 6 months there's a group that goes out. We have and I don't drink and they know that. I didn't drink then, I don't drink now. And she's like, You analyzing that person. I'm not analyzing nobody. Yeah, you are, Lisa. No, I'm not. I said, what makes you think that? Because you're looking at them with that certain look like that person's going to be the trouble at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, you can always tell.
And they, yeah, you can tell. You can tell. You can tell. You
Yeah,
can
so
tell.
I'm gonna try to quickly
So what
go
about you, Nat?
over.
Huh?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, we got like 2 minutes left. I want to go over just my topic real quick if y'all
Yeah.
like. I'm
Okay, yeah.
thinking.
Come on. Come on,
So
because
what?
I'm still needing the haircut. See? Still got all that
You
hair.
know where to find me.
Oh, I'm
I was
coming, trust me.
So I was kind of thinking, and this is where I played around with it because I wanted to do I wanted to do mine about horror movies just because I'm super obsessed with them. And at first I
Really?
was, because I was also pretty confused with the topic at first too. I was like, oh, maybe I could talk about different like genres of horror or something like that. And I'm like, but okay, but this is subjective. And if I do it that way, there's already predetermined genres for a reason. So that would defeat the purpose. So I've kind of thought about like what kind of horror movies to play around people that either do like horror movies or don't, or if you're trying to like hang out and things like
We ain't
that.
gonna
So,
show up me for a horror movie.
but then there's certain kinds. Like, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. If I had a friend that I know is like I don't like really scary stuff. Like there's comedy horror movies, you
Right,
know? Or
right.
sometimes I'll put on some like B-rated horror movies that are like funny and not so much
There's
like
always a
scary.
camp horror movie you can show them.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like I love some good like 1982 Evil Dead stuff, you know. It's disgusting and gruesome, but it's hilarious at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you sound like somebody I know.
Oh
They
yeah, I
love
am a
them.
horror movie junkie.
It's
If
gonna
if
be a
it's out
good
there, I've
story for
probably
them.
seen it.
Good for you.
I
That
think
would
it's
be something
about to
good for you
end.
because that's what you enjoy that.
I really do.
I
That's
think
why it's
you
like
would
I
know a
want to
lot
do it,
about
but I'm wondering if it's gonna come to a flow like I really want it to. And I'm like on the line
and I
with it.
want to
Like,
read it if you do it. I want to read it.
oh
I
yeah.
want to read it. What
All
you
right,
writing about that? You don't
we
know
can
yet?
share essays. I'm not shy.
I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out yet. I will.
I know.
I will.
That's why I wanted to talk about it a bit because I would like, I wanted to get some good examples and inspiration for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, we'll play
Yeah.
around with that. Yeah, by all means, talk with
You don't
us.
think, Sean, you don't think that you would do good with something with like somebody in the chair getting their hair cut?
I mean, honestly, when you were talking about it and you mentioned the bartending thing, I was like,